What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Isaiah Bagnah of the Realist. And man, I'm happy to finally be back once again. We've had a couple weeks off here for a little while. You know, life happens, man. Been locked in. I've been locked in. Jake's been locked in. Kevin's been locked in. It's been a busy year so far, but it's been a good year so far. Speaking of, when was the last time we had our last episode?
Right after you got back from Nicaragua.
Right after, huh?
What date did you get back?
I want to say actually, I don't even remember. I think like the 7th?
Yeah, that sounds right.
The 6th.
Yeah.
Got back the 6th.
6th.
Yep. Dang, well.
It's been a minute.
It's good to be back in the studio, man.
Yeah.
You know? Been doing my pre-draft training, the combine training, stuff like that. So, you know, I've been just locked in, man. Nothing too crazy in my life. I've been trying to keep everything, you know, simple.
Mm-hmm.
Keep everything the main thing, right? And so, I know, like, on the last episode we talked about, you know, me trying to, I guess, find what like a routine works for me. You know, find these new habits that will set me up for success. And truthfully, I feel like I've been doing that, and man, it's been paying off a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm excited the way everything's going. Of course, it's not easy. It never is. Anything good in this life is never gonna be easy. However, though, man, it's been a cool transition so far, and yeah, man, at least that's all it is on my end. How about you guys, man? Jake, what's the year been like so far for you, man?
Dude, it's been fast paced. I feel like a lot of stuff has been going
by
on.
fast. Huh? It's already February.
I know.
Happy February, everybody.
Yeah. Groundhog's Day tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even remember. I didn't even know that.
I wonder if we're going to get early spring or not. You probably just Google that. You don't need a rodent to tell you. But it doesn't feel like there's early spring.
Fingers crossed. Dude, I can't handle winter, bro. I'm like one of the biggest.
Aren't you from
winter
Canada?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So
Kev.
you would think
What happened to
no,
you?
look, you would think that because I'm from Canada and I've been in the cold for so long that I would just be accustomed to it.
Yeah.
Honestly, how I see it is I just had to deal with the cold longer than everybody else has.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that I like it. And sure, I might, you know, be accustomed to it. Doesn't mean I like it though.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, truthfully, like if you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But man, if I can get away from the snow, I'm gonna get away from the snow. Any chance I get, 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out of the environment I'm in.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I get that a lot actually, Kev. But nah, man, just because I'm from Canada doesn't mean I like the snow. It doesn't mean I like winter.
Yeah. You've said you want to end up in Tampa maybe eventually.
Tampa would be sick.
That's one of your little spots you got.
I love
on the
Tampa.
radar.
It was cool because
Yeah.
I've been there once.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I was in high school. It was actually a solo trip. Literally, I went on a little trip to see this one school. But anyways, it was a cool vibe, man.
Yeah.
I really love San Diego. San Diego's been like my spot for the last while. And like, at least just for me, I don't know if this is for everybody else who's been to Tampa, but Tampa's like San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
but of the East Coast for me.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of vibe that I'm getting. I was really talking about actually today about it. But yeah, man, it's cool. So great weather.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing you got to worry about is, you know, kind of like the hurricanes and stuff like that. But hey,
Get you some steel shutters.
exactly, man.
Yeah. That's
Hey,
what you got to invest in.
you
I
got to
guess.
prepare, man. That's all it is. Prepare and you'll be straight.
Dude, speaking of like, can I hijack your podcast
Go
again?
ahead. Yeah.
Dude, speaking of,
I cut you off
Yeah,
anyway,
you're good.
man.
You're
My
good.
fault.
Speaking of like where you live and like, you know, like being somewhere warm where you can be outside all year round and like kind of be active outside and everything. I was listening to a guy on a podcast talk about blue zones. Have you heard about like blue zones in the world? So blue zones are areas where the average lifespan is significantly higher in these certain areas. And so they've gone and studied, like, I'm going to get all these numbers wrong, so don't quote me on this, but something like, you know, globally, the average lifespan's like in your 60s or something, because, you know, there's people in third world countries who die of accidents and this. And so if you eliminate that, then it like bumps it up to like the 70s. But these blue zones, it's like 100.
Okay.
Like people are like consistently living to 100 years old in these blue zones. And so you're like, okay, well, what's going on in these blue zones? It basically comes down to like three things that they found in these blue zones. One is Whole Foods. Like
Okay.
probably the most important one.
Sure.
And like there's some that's like more carbohydrate like diet, but all of their carbohydrates are like the pasta's homemade. Like they grind the wheat fresh
Yep.
and they make it there. It's not like
whole grain type of
whole
carbs,
grain,
not like the artificial type of carbs, like
really high
candy
quality.
or-
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah.
There's also like not in most of these blue zones, there's no elevators. There's no escalators.
Okay.
And there's really not a lot of cars. Like most of the people
Mm.
have to like walk to get the mail, walk to the market.
Sure.
I don't know if you've ever been somewhere where like when I was in Italy, obviously there's no Walmarts, at least that I saw. Maybe there is somewhere. I was in Rome. It was a pretty big city. I didn't see any Walmarts.
No Walmarts, huh?
But there is
There's
everywhere.
McDonald's.
Yeah, there are McDonald's. I've been to McDonald's in Venice.
There's a McDonald's.
I've been to McDonald's in Venice. But a lot of these places, like on almost every corner, there's like a fruit stand
Okay.
or like this. And so people just like, they don't go one grocery trip and like load up on groceries and then cook it for 1 or 2 weeks and go on another grocery trip.
Sure.
Every day they go get like fresh fruit, fresh vegetables,
Right.
fresh meat and things. So anyway, it's just interesting, but I feel like if you're in a nice area like Tampa, San Diego, it's a lot easier to be active, go out in the sunshine, get your vitamin D,
Absolutely.
all that stuff.
100%. I agree. Because I mean, shoot, I think about the way that my life was, just like my, extracurricular life during like spring or summer compared to now.
Yeah.
Like in the summer, I'm outside, walking around, just being outside all the time, just being active. Well, as in wintertime, it's complete opposite.
Yep.
I'm trying to stay inside with the heat on. I'll play the game. I'll read a book, something like that. And yeah, it's just a complete different vibe. And so
Yeah.
I believe it. Especially, dude, like on my dad's side,
Mm-hmm.
because they still, majority of them still live in Togo in Africa and work on some places around there. And they live quite long lives.
Absolutely.
Quite like I'm talking like high 90s.
Yeah.
So and I believe it. They're out there. Their way of lifestyle is literally what you just described.
Yeah.
They have to eat like
Whole
fresh foods.
It's probably not a lot of
They're out
refrigeration.
exactly right. They're out in the sun.
Yeah.
They're walking everywhere. They're doing actual like labor, like all these type of things. And so, dude, I believe it.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
crazy to think about.
you and I talked about investing in some like grounding mats in here for the pod.
We did.
We should do that.
What are those
still.
things called again?
Grounding mats. But basically,
That's that's what they're called, grounding mats.
I'm pretty sure you just like plug it into the ground here, and then your electrical in your house has to be grounded outside to protect you from surges and stuff, right? Like it's to code.
Yeah.
So you plug it to the ground in the outlet. There's a little circle one on the bottom.
Yeah.
And then it runs a little cable to a mat, and you put your foot on it, and it's very similar to having your feet on the ground outside. So you get like supposedly electrons and ions from the earth, but it's shown to like reduce inflammation, pain. There's on YouTube you can watch these ladies who do like blood work at their clinic, and they'll like do blood work of an employee who's just like sitting there with their shoes on, and then they'll do blood work of an employee who's been sitting on the grounding mat for 15 minutes, half hour. It's crazy.
There's really substantial difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I don't know how you can Google that. I was on a rabbit hole one night. You know how I get.
Oh yeah.
I was on a rabbit hole one night and found all that. But I'm like, dude, maybe we should invest in that. Because that's another thing they talk about the blue zones is like people are outside and people are often barefoot.
I was
like
gonna say
grounding.
barefoot.
Or their hands are in the dirt or like whatever. And like that's grounding
In one
too.
way or another,
Yeah.
some form is touching the earth.
So we got this all backwards, man.
Dude, for real, man. Well, hey, there's an idea right there.
Kev, if we get you a grounding mat under the desk, throw your feet on it.
I'm in.
He's in. Dude, I'll have to invest. We'll have to get a creepy camera angle that just shows feet. I'm just kidding. Now you're out. Now you're out.
You think it would
I'm
work
out.
with you think so does it have to be barefoot or can you keep socks on?
Well, you have to have a conductive thing. So they sell grounding socks and they sell grounding shoes.
Oh wow.
So that they've got like copper like woven into it or
Okay.
silver. Like we're not buying. We're not that rich, right? But they got some kind of conductive material.
Not yet.
Not yet. But they have copper spikes and shoes and stuff too that like touch.
Okay.
Anyway, they have all kinds of stuff you can get. But But yeah, we'll have to invest in some socks and some
Yeah.
grounding mats.
Absolutely.
Keep it hygienic.
That'd be sick, man. That's a cool investment.
Yeah.
Just you like on the personal aspect of it, and just that benefit, that literally biological benefit.
Yeah.
You know, like especially for people like who have like day jobs, not day jobs, like at home jobs,
Desk
work from home,
jobs,
desk
yeah.
jobs, all that type of stuff. Cause man, that could be a game changer.
You feel like your dog helps you get out a lot?
Yeah,
Because you gotta get
I
him
have to.
outside, gotta use the restroom,
I gotta
gotta
take
play.
her outside. I gotta take her for a walk whenever I can. Every day I'm outside getting fresh air, which is nice, but yeah.
And it's when it's 7 outside, 7 degrees.
Ugh.
It's not as nice.
I'll be sitting there by the door, just like kind of creaking it. I'll have her on the leash, and I'll be like, you
Go do
can
your
go.
thing.
You can go. I'll stay right here waiting for you when you're done. But no, it's not bad. It's actually really nice because, so in my apartment, I just literally walk out my door, and then you get to the lobby, and you can see the mountains on the, what is that, the east side of,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the east side of the stadium.
Big mountains, yeah, east side.
Yeah, and because that's where the Y is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually really nice because every morning I like to go out and just kind of take a deep breath and just take it all in, look at the mountains, and just kind of give gratitude to like God every morning,
Yeah.
right? And so it's cool because I used to do it all the time, like with my morning routines and stuff like that. However, just with everything changing, I kind of drifted away from that. But it was cool because the other day, I woke up. I've been waking up earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
It's because, man, waking up early for me, honestly, has been awesome the past few days. Just because I've been able to get so much more things in. Because
Yeah.
usually I tend to like cram it in at night,
Mm-hmm.
like studying for my licensing with
Mm-hmm.
the and then reading my book and stuff like that, and just all that stuff. Anyways, it's really nice to just fit that in the morning and sit there and watch the sunrise. And so, anyways, I go out and let my dog out and everything. As I'm standing there, it's cool because you get to see, the pink skies behind the
Yeah.
mountains, and it's dusk out still, so there's not too many people outside. Dude, it's super sick and peaceful, and you get some breath of fresh air every morning. So
Supposedly that
Sick.
early morning light is your eye can tell the difference. It's supposed to help wake you up too.
I believe it.
Like different than if you like sleep in and you pop outside and it's already kind of full daylight.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I believe it.
What do they say?
Dude, it's like one of my favorite things, though. I used to do it all the time. In fact, I remember last year, because I would wake up around, like, I want to say 5:30 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think 5:30, and I'd sit there, and it was still dark out, but it was just right when it would get light.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd just watch the sunrise, and, man, it's so peaceful. It just does something to me.
That is nice about Provo, man. You're nestled
It's
right up
beautiful,
against
man.
those beautiful mountains.
Right up there. And it's cool because from my apartment, you can literally just, like, outside of every single window, you can just see the mountains, man.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
So I've been super blessed with that, man. It's allowed me to really sit there and be like, man, it reminds me just to be grateful every morning. It's really cool. And so, anyways, I feel that, though. It's crazy, man. My dog does get me outside.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's growing still. So big already, dude. I was looking at her today. I was like, oh my gosh. She's literally like this big.
Mm.
And she's only 6 months, dude. It's crazy. Because we've been taking her to this dog training course.
Oh, cool.
And it's like, what? Well, it's 3 times a week. And we just had one actually this morning. Going to, and they have some decent sized dogs there. Like, they have the labs. They have I think there was what's it called? Just medium sized dogs, regardless. Doodles, all that stuff. And man, like we pull up and she's the biggest dog there. And she's younger than everybody.
Yeah.
She's literally a puppy still. I'm just like, man, this is crazy. It's crazy. But she's so smart. She's learning so fast every day. But man, she has an attitude. She's a sassy dog, bro. I'm telling you. She's a sassy dog. But other than that, she's really a great dog. She's,
Yeah.
obviously she has to learn. She's still a puppy. She's a puppy, right? But she's smart, dude. She's super chill. She's not super crazy. Well, she has her moments.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not get that twisted. She has her moments, but truthfully, man, I've been blessed, because if it was any other dog with any other personality, shoot,
Yeah.
I'd be a lot more stressed half the time. So, Kev, do you have a dog?
No.
Do you have any pets?
Mm-mm.
You still have them cats back there?
Bro, my wife was freaking out yesterday. She's like, you got to get rid of these cats because I'm not. When spring hits, I want to be outside. I don't want to see them. I don't want to be around them. And they will sit at the back door and like look through the glass.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of like, dude, go hunt, go do your thing. You're supposed to be strays.
Yeah, get out of here.
We don't want you. We don't mind you hanging out,
Yeah.
eating mice and stuff, but we really don't want
But
you.
you're not coming up in here,
You're
man.
never coming in this house.
That's
Like,
funny.
but we have the chickens too,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the far back of the yard,
Yeah.
So that gets you out, gets you over there. You check on them, you feed them, everything. So I like to let them loose. I like to let them run around, be wild, free range a little bit. Then you got to go gather them up and put them back in.
Throw them all back in. Yeah. How many chickens you have? 3, 4?
Ooh, 6 right now.
Oh,
Most we've had is 9.
Okay.
But our neighbor who moved in had a dog. And
Ooh.
yeah.
How's that been?
Well, he got 3 of them. That's
Really?
went from 9 to 6. Yeah.
Dang.
But then they put up a fence. So now they're living their life again.
That's good.
So,
Not living in terror.
yeah.
Dang,
Yeah.
man, that's wild.
After he wiped some out, I had to just sorry, you never going outside again.
Yeah.
Locked him up. But
Yeah.
now that he's fenced off, he always comes over and checks out the coop. It's just chain link, so he
Sure.
can see.
Yeah.
He's always checking it out, but he can't get over here now. So
Well, that's good at least.
yeah.
Shoot.
Farm fresh eggs though. You ever had farm fresh eggs?
I have a couple times, and it's wonderful.
Yeah,
They're great.
I like them.
They're great. That's so crazy. You can just go there, grab
Yeah.
a couple, and
My pets make me breakfast. Make me breakfast every
what a
day.
weird concept to think about. But I mean, shoot. I mean, it's very common, especially when people who have farms and stuff like that. Actually, I was thinking about it the other day. Actually, no, I was thinking about it this morning for my trip in Nicaragua. Because,
Oh yeah.
dude, on the ranch they had their own farm, so they had their own chicken coop. They had their own. They had all these different kind of cows and stuff, and all different kinds of meat. They even had lambs, literally everything you can think of. And we got these farm fresh eggs that we cook in the morning. Man, some of the best eggs I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
So fresh.
I remember when I first
So
got
good.
chickens 10 years ago, whatever. We had them for over a decade. And I cracked open an egg, the first egg you get for your chicken. You're like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
And I'm like, the yolk is orange.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that when chickens actually are fed proper diet, go outside, eat grass, eat bugs, eat whatever, that the yolk is a different color.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that till 10 years ago when I opened my first chicken egg.
Dang.
Yeah. And then the yolk is standing up in the pan, and not kind of sagging down like that. I'm like, is this healthy? What's I didn't know. It's so different than what I was used to.
Yeah, no
but
doubt.
that's what real chicken eggs are like.
Game changer.
Mm-hmm.
You can totally change. You can totally taste the difference. Man.
Yep.
It's wonderful.
So
It's awesome.
that's
That's cool though, man.
Would you ever be a ranch guy?
Um,
Your own chicken, have your own cows, have
a good
property,
question.
have a horse.
It's a good question. I wouldn't be opposed to it
Yeah.
at all. I would not be. Especially,
You've worked on farms before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Plenty of times. I used to back in the day, I used to go branding every year with my friend at his on his grandparents' ranch, actually, farm, a while back. That was cool. That was a cool experience.
Yeah.
My genes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my mom's side, she grew up on a farm. She had all animals. She had, goats, horses, cows, pigs,
Yeah.
chickens, all that. And then my dad, he had like lambs, goats, chickens, all types of things up in Africa too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it's been in my genes, man.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
Having a little bit of land, maybe up in the mountains somewhere,
Yeah.
up in Canada,
Your zombie apocalypse.
cabin kind of deal. Ooh.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound bad. You might just put me on something, Jake.
I know. I'm telling you.
Maybe.
Because I'll tell you what, like, you might get sick of those summers in old Tampa or the
That's true.
summers in San Diego.
Gotta get away, man.
Nice,
Absolutely.
cool mountain air.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
Would you ever look into that someday?
Oh yeah, dude. I have tried to get my wife. This is as country as we're gonna get where we're at right
Okay.
now.
That's
For, at
fair.
least for the full time thing, right?
Sure.
She actually she does like to camp. Like she likes the outdoors.
Okay.
But I don't think she wants to live on like a farm.
Yeah.
Right. Which I'd be down. But so I'll probably have to get like a little cabin or something.
Yeah.
That might be as outdoorsy as I get
That's fair.
on that. But
It's a good
yeah.
little project to look towards. Though.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hey.
I'm hoping. I mean, I got some windfalls the last month,
Yeah.
and I'm like trying to decide like what to do. And I think the number one thing is get another rental.
Yeah.
But then it's like maybe with the cash flow from that, maybe you look into them, see if you can find a good little spot to put a cabin or something. I don't know.
Absolutely. And there's plenty of nice places to put them. There's
Mhm.
plenty of nice places, man. I actually remember I was working for this moving company out in Boise a few years back. And the guy who owned the company, him and I were just sitting there chilling, chatting and stuff. And he's like, man, there's this one spot up in like northern Idaho on the border to Canada.
Mm.
And a lot of people go back and forth who to go to Canada because the drinking age and all this stuff is 18.
Mm-hmm.
However, here obviously it's 21, so there's a lot of movement back and forth. However, there's nowhere to stay up there on top of the border,
Right.
and it's beautiful land. And there's mountains, there's Rocky Mountains, it's close to British Columbia, so it's beautiful land. It's just there's nowhere for people to stay.
Mm.
And he's like, so one day, man, when you go get rich or whatever, you do what you gotta do. Come back and we gonna invest in like starting a little like mini village out there,
Yeah.
man. And then after that, if people just come and get like some attraction and stuff like that. So shoot, man. Who knows? Maybe
Who knows?
someday throw up a little cabin up there.
You're seeing, so there's a lot of places outside national parks and places here in Utah that have like, they're called cowboy cabins. Basically, it's a cabin with just electricity, right? So
Okay.
you go and there's no water, anything. It's just electricity, heating, whatever. And then beds and stuff,
No water?
Mm-mm. And then
Yeah.
what they have is like, they'll have like a big, depending on what area you're in, they'll have like a big community like bathroom
Okay.
and like, maybe like a community place to fill up water or like
Sure.
whatever, take back to your cabin and that. But like that way you can rent out these cowboy cabins. There's not a ton of maintenance on them or anything.
Yep.
You just maintain the central area where everyone like uses the bathroom and
Yeah.
showers. Like there's a bunch of showers. It's kind of like a locker room, right? Like
yeah.
then there's a little kitchen area
That's
there
cool.
for people. But it's very popular. I've stayed at several ones. I've stayed at outside different national parks. Have you ever been
Really?
to something like that?
Yeah. We'd go to Star Valley, Wyoming,
Mm.
and there's a bunch of those,
Mm.
and pretty nice. They're cheap too.
They're cheap, yeah.
Like, what, 30, 40 a night?
Yeah,
depending on where
we
you
got
go.
pretty big ones. We got, our family's got 6 people in it, so we get
Yeah.
a bigger one. It's still like $80 a night.
Dang, that's not bad.
Everyone's got a bed,
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
so
That's pretty sick.
just an idea, right? You start small, and get people
Dude,
places
there's so
to
many
stay.
ways. There's so many ways to make money.
Oh yeah,
Have you gotten into
So many
vending
ways.
machines, Isaiah? That's like a popular thing that I've
Bro.
seen from athletes.
I've definitely have looked into it.
Okay.
100%, and I wouldn't even be opposed to it. I think stuff like that, though, I want to do when I have a family because, truthfully, by the time I have, a family, my kids are around maybe like middle school age or something like that, I want to incorporate a way for them to make their own money.
yes.
You see what I'm saying? So that I'm not just sitting here giving it to them, giving them whatever they want.
And you
'cause
can
they're gonna have
hire
work
them
for
to
it.
stock those machines.
Exactly, right? And so that's what I want to do with those type of investments and
Yeah.
those type of stuff like that. But yeah, I've definitely looked into it. And I think it's super smart, man. I think it's super smart.
Yeah.
Even like ATMs, Uh, dude, all types of things. That even like that little. I'm like, hold on. What am I doing sitting here giving up all my little
Yeah, you
secrets
just
on the
spilling all-
podcast? Go find out for yourself, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's funny. But yeah, man. No, that's what I've been thinking of as of lately. Have any of you guys been reading any books lately?
I'm reading one for work right now called Trust and Inspire.
Trust and Inspire, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
Do you know who the author is?
Stephen M.R. Covey.
Okay.
So it's one of the Coveys, Franklin
Yeah.
Covey's Covey books. It's
Mhm.
really good.
Dang.
Yeah.
Interesting. How deep are you into it right now?
I got 3 hours left. Is it, I don't know, is it 9 hours? I'm probably 2/3 the way done
Oh, okay.
or so, something like that. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's you?
That's those franchise people.
Oh, okay. Well, it's okay because we're about to wrap it up here anyways for you.
Oh, you're good. We're good. I just told them I'm going to be on later.
That's cool, man. I've been thanks to Troy, like we were talking about before.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to my man Troy, Troy Bigley. He put me on with this one book, Extreme Ownership. Jocko Willink
Mm-hmm.
and Leaf, something, I don't know. But it's a super cool book so far. I've literally just started it the past few days, and dude, it's been super sick. It's about, for those who don't know what it's about, it's essentially about like leadership qualities and the process in which Navy SEALs implement their leadership roles and characteristics in combat form, and they apply it in, different businesses, different teams, different groups, even family members and family situations. And it's been pretty sick so far, man. It, like I said before, it's been straightforward.
Mhm.
Truthfully, things that I kind of already knew. But however, though, it's been really cool just the way that they emphasize these certain aspects of leadership, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because they have a whole different perspective of it. And it's cool because they kind of tie it into ways that they utilize it in real life war scenarios.
So you get some cool stories out of it too.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. And when you put yourself in their shoes, it's kind of like, man, that's so crazy. Especially in the most intense, real scenarios that you can ever be part of.
Yeah.
Life or death scenarios.
Yeah.
You have to apply these lessons, these aspects, or else
People die.
people die. You die.
You die. Yeah.
It's game over.
Yeah.
This ain't Call of Duty. So I've been really enjoying that book so far.
Yeah.
I feel like the next time we get on this podcast, I have a little bit more chat with y'all, share with y'all. But at this point, that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Dude, there's another really good book that I like that has those real world examples of what they're talking about in it, called Never Split the Difference. It's by Chris Voss. It's a FBI hostage negotiator.
Okay.
He's teaching you negotiation tactics and crucial conversation tactics and things. The tactics are amazing, but the stories are great. Like, because he tells you about bank robbers with hostages or terrorists with hostages and like how they got them to let him go.
Yeah.
Or how they got you know what I mean? And it's like, and like they can't really give in to their demands. They can't really be like, okay, yeah, we'll get you a helicopter and you can get away for like, that's not on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the negotiation tactics they use when they don't really have a lot of bargaining
Right.
to give up for them. So that's why it's like never split the difference. Like you don't always have to compromise and take a bad deal. Like there's always a way to get a good deal
Dang.
if you know what you're doing.
That's crazy.
Really good book.
What's it called again?
Never Split the Difference.
Never Split the Difference.
Chris Voss.
Dude, I'm going to have to look into that because that's very intriguing to me.
And if you YouTube him, he's got hundreds of YouTube videos, but whether he's on a podcast or he's just talking about his own videos where he's talking about the techniques they use in the FBI to talk with terrorists and criminals. And it's a good book, man.
Dang, man.
But I bet that Extreme Ownership sounds very similar.
Yeah,
Like,
it's been sick so far.
really cool stories to
Yeah.
back up the principles they're teaching.
That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
But that's sick. Nah, that's one thing I've been trying to do, man. Is just trying to find a book that I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
It's also entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also beneficial to me.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't sit here and read these fictional books. I can't.
Ever?
Never. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
I started the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
That whole series, but that's it, bro. I've never been able to.
Dude, I have to sometimes just do it for my work, right?
Okay.
But I really don't like to do 2 to 3 personal development books in a row. I start to get burned out.
Really?
Yeah, so I usually go 1 or 2, maybe 3 if I have to. Like Trust Inspire is an awesome book. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm supposed to help develop a training on the principles in that soon. So
Sure.
I have to like read it.
Yeah.
But I have to break it up with a little bit of fiction, man. I like a lot of books. Do you know who Michael Crichton is?
It sounds familiar.
You probably know him because he's the guy who wrote Jurassic Park, the book.
Okay.
But he wrote a lot of other good books. I think 13 of his books became movies. So Congo, Sphere, Jurassic Park, Lost World, like the sequel. The Andromeda Strain. He has a lot of really, really good books. But before he became a big author, he wrote like murder mystery kind of thrillers. Sometimes they're not even murder mystery. Sometimes it's just a thriller for like magazines.
Oh,
Because
cool.
back in the 60s or whatever, like you subscribe to this magazine and it comes and you get a bunch of these short stories about action or like whatever.
Okay.
And those are some of my favorite books he wrote because the stories are still good and it's fast paced and there's always a pretty decent like little twist in the whole story on it. And I mean, you can, if you wait till they're on sale on Audible, you can get them for like $3 and they're like 5-6 hours and they're good, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. See, that's the thing, man. If it comes down to stuff like that, I'd rather just kind of watch it, have a visual.
Yeah.
That's just for me. But granted, though, keep in mind, I've never been a big reader.
Okay.
In fact, I've only gotten into reading the past couple years. So maybe if I did look into starting one or looking into a good one,
Yeah.
maybe it would change that for me.
Right.
You know, I'm not opposed to trying it. It's just
And I almost never
not into it right
crack open a book unless it's like the scriptures. Like I rarely
Sure.
actually physically open a book. I'm audible. That way, whatever I'm doing, I can listen.
That's
And
fair.
I like to
Yeah.
if I'm driving, like my kids, we went to dinner tonight. My wife went out with her friends to go do whatever. Took my kids out to dinner and I listened to a podcast on the way there and I opened up Audible on the way back and my kids were like, "Dad, please, please, we don't want to listen to your books or your podcast. Please
Oh,
stop.
man.
Can we listen to some music? You can even pick the genre. Like we don't
Just
care.
anything but
Anything
the book.
that. So, but
That's
like
funny.
I don't even like really do music anymore, hardly.
It's fair.
So
Most music out now is just not worth listening to, anyways.
hate the radio, dude.
Yeah,
It's like the same 12 songs.
Yep.
Over and over and over.
that's facts. That's the thing, man. Like, but the thing is, I cannot do the radio.
Mm-mm.
I can't do Sirius XM. I can't do none of that. I literally have to listen to my own music and what I'm into, or else I'll drive in silence
Mm-hmm.
if I can.
Sometimes that's nice too, though.
It is. It really is. Especially just the way I process my thoughts sometimes, because like I'm just a very deep thinker,
Yeah.
and in order for me to process my thoughts, I have to really dive deep into them
Yeah.
and dive deep in myself. And sometimes it's cool to have that silence, especially when I go for my drives. Because honestly, I haven't done it lately, but which I need to start actually low-key doing it again. But especially over the past kind of. Actually, I've done it my whole life. Ever since I could start driving, truthfully, I just go for drives.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking hours, just by myself. Most time at night, just kind of just driving, thinking, spending time with myself.
Kev, you just nodding, same way, same thing.
And it's
I've driven those West Mountain roads.
Bro, same roads.
I know, same roads as you.
The back behind.
Oh yeah,
It's
Bro, that's
therapeutic,
they just
man.
go forever.
That's my loop.
Yes.
It's therapeutic.
Kicks you
Are you
out
talking about the roads that go like between the mountains, right by
by the lake, right by Utah Lake.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Yeah.
They're getting antsy.
beautiful.
They can wait. They
Sure.
can wait. yeah, we'll make him wait a few more minutes.
Yeah, it's not going to
Make sweat him out.
out.
But you should stay. You should stay
yeah.
and listen to the call.
Absolutely.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I will.
Kev, you're welcome to stay and listen too.
But
But
yeah,
those are
man,
my roads too, man.
It's super therapeutic for me. And so sometimes I'll just cut the music and just drive like literally for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sick though. It's nice. And I need to get back and do that sometimes.
Right.
Because it's literally just, that's how, I feel like I've always been able to just kind of learn about myself and just make decisions, give me an environment where I can think clearly.
Right.
So.
No, I'm the same way. I'm a big driver. When I was like coaching and teaching and going to school and like,
Yeah.
and it was all, I mean, I still stay busy, but I enjoy mostly what I stay busy with,
Yeah.
But back when it wasn't stuff I enjoyed, there were times where like, I'm not doing my homework right now.
Yeah.
I need to go for a drive.
Yeah.
I need to turn on an audiobook, go for a drive, or listen to nothing, go for a drive, clear my thoughts. I go hit around Lincoln Beach and then follow that road, looping around the orchards on the backside of West Mountain. And it spits you out. I mean, it's pacing by the pace and dump almost. As you loop back around there, like that loop. I love that loop. I don't know. That road used to be haggard. They've upgraded it quite a bit, but you used to have to like drive like this to avoid the potholes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Back before Saratoga Springs was awful to drive through.
Yep.
Going around the whole lake was a great drive.
Yep.
Dang.
Now Saratoga made that drive way worse.
I remember I like there was a time I couldn't afford to go on drives, right? Because I couldn't pay the gas. And then my brother JR, he had a natural gas car that he sold me, and at the time, natural gas was 60 cents a gallon, and regular gas was $4 or something. Like it was crazy. So I was like, oh, freedom. Fill up with gas, go on the drive. Now I have the Tesla. I haven't been in a gas station unless I'm getting a drink or something for over a year.
I bet.
I've not put. I rent cars for work. I do it, but other than that, I do not fill up a car with gas.
That's wild.
Just pull my driveway, plug it in, don't ever think about it.
That's so nice.
It's lovely.
I bet. That's so nice. Ugh.
But I go on a drive. Like I can go on a big long drive, and it doesn't cost me. I mean, it might cost me 13 cents a kilowatt or 11 cents a kilowatt or something.
Dude, that's crazy, especially like in a Tesla. I mean, yours did have the, you don't have to like actually drive.
Oh, it's full self-driving.
Full self-driving, right? Man, so even with that, I bet that's just a whole nother game changer.
Dude, I love driving to the airport.
Oh.
I got magnetic phone holder above my screen.
Yeah.
I throw on a podcast or whatever, like put it right above my screen so the camera watching me thinks I'm watching the road, which I kind of am.
Yeah, you are.
But throw that sucker into full self-drive.
Yeah.
Bro, and they're like, oh, I'm almost to my destination.
That's so sick. So how long does self-driving thing last? Does it last like a whole trip?
Oh, yeah.
But let's say you're driving down to Vegas.
Yeah. So you'll have to, right now, it's getting better and better and better, bro.
Okay.
Like the last update that came out in December, it's smooth now. Used to be a little like jerky, indecisive with things. This last one's smooth. And version 13, which has only been like beta released to certain people to like kind of test it, right? Beta test it, is the first version that's the AI driving. So mine is still driving on, it's a 12.6.4 or something like that. But it's still on the algorithm. Like a computer has rules, like when this happens, you do this, stay between these lines, change lanes to let people pass when this is, like it has all these rules it follows, and it drives fine. It's getting better and better. But now they have the cluster, I can't remember what it's called, but the computer super cluster that they've built, and the version 13 people are driving, it's AI driving.
Dang.
So it makes decisions and it learns.
That's sick.
And so we went from here to Yellowstone, which I don't know, is that 5 hours, 5.5 hours, something like that. And I got in the car, hit full self-drive. I touched the steering wheel 2 times. This is several versions ago. This is back in July.
Okay.
And it was because people drifted into my lane both times, and it like
kind of tweaks,
sets an alarm, and like kind of hits the brakes, and like not too dangerous. It slows. It's way annoying. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They came over the lane like this much. But on my last drive to the airport, I had someone drift lanes, and it kind of just drifted over a little bit and waited to see what they would do. Like slowed down a little bit, kind of hugged the other side of the lane, stayed in the lane. Kind of watched what they do, and it drifted back, and the car went back.
Dang.
So Yeah, but there's AI out there driving cars right now, the
That's
beta testing
crazy.
versions.
What do you think of the Waymo? Like you drive in Phoenix. What do you think of the Waymo
I see them.
cars? Those
That's kind of cool.
it
They're all
sketches
around
me
the
out.
airport. They're all around the airport.
That makes sense, but it terrifies me to see to see those cars.
Dude, I
still.
pulled up next to one that had nobody in it because it hadn't picked anyone up yet.
Yeah,
That's so crazy.
So I was at a
it's
stoplight.
insane.
I let the stoplight, my rental car, look over. I'm like, there is nobody in that car. Right? And then it turns green and it like goes.
Just
You're like,
goes. That's so crazy.
have you seen the cabs? The whatever Tesla's cabs are called. I should know the name of that. Anyway, they released a prototype of these cabs.
I have seen them. Yep.
They're just 2-seaters with like luggage in the back and a pretty big monitor, no steering wheel.
Yep.
Like the Waymos do have a steering
The
wheel.
Waymo still have a wheel, I think.
And if you have trouble, you can basically, it's like kind of like OnStar. Like you can call someone at their headquarters and they can take over and remote drive it.
Oh, okay.
Like there too. And maybe that's what Tesla will end up doing.
Yeah.
But in the car, there is no steering wheel. Like it's not an option for you to drive.
You just get in. There you go. It's so crazy.
So I'm like, wait, and they're supposed to be 30,000 because they're supposed to be kind of like an investment.
Sure.
Like you buy 3 or 4 of them, you have your own fleet of taxis. You're basically running your own taxi cab company.
Yeah.
And you just got to have a place for them to go back and charge
Yeah.
between trips. That's it. So you have someone who owns a business with a parking lot. Say, hey, can I put up some Tesla chargers here? Paint these stalls out so no one can park there but my Teslas.
Mhm.
I'll pay you whatever. Sure.
Wow.
Go buy the Teslas. You got a taxi cab company.
Wow.
Or you got a big garage or extra space or whatever.
That's so crazy.
So, but I'm like, dude, if I buy one, 30,000, can I be like, look, take my kids to dance, take my kids to basketball. Can my kids just hop in that sucker without a driver's license and it drives them? Because there's no steering wheel. Like there's
Right.
no option to drive.
Yeah. Would you trust it with your kids? Just
I mean, bro, I've had the whole family in this full self-drive.
That's fair.
Like it's
Yeah.
pretty freaking safe.
Dang.
So they just had released the studies. The average human goes, what is like 500,000 miles between accidents on average, right? And some people never have an accident, but
Yeah.
on average, people drive 500,000 miles without an accident. Full self-driving, 4 billion miles between accidents.
Wow.
So it has its glitchy like moments where it does
Sure.
dumb crap, but it actually is safe.
Hmm.
Like, so
Statistically,
That's
statistically, it's safe.
I still see my algorithm is like, oh, you think Waymos are sketchy? Well, here's an accident that a Waymo just freaking
Oh,
plows
yeah.
through, and
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
like, okay, but
Do you see the guys who just sacrificed a Waymo?
but
It stopped at a stoplight in Phoenix, and like these people just destroyed the whole car.
Really?
There's no one in it. There's cameras, right? So there's footage of it,
Yeah.
and like it stopped at the stoplight. And people are like, it's a Waymo, and they just go out with bats and stuff, and
Just start.
just destroy the whole freaking car.
Holy cow.
Like, and we're like, yeah, AI will never take over. Yeah, you kill a few AIs like that, we'll
Oh,
see.
yeah, they'll start saying, "Hey, that's not cool."
I grew up on Terminator, so I'm, that was very popular when I was a child. So
Bro, it's that iRobot movie for me.
iRobot's another one.
iRobot is literally just like, oh my gosh. Dude, because I keep seeing these videos of these fools getting these robots and kicking them around, stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, that robot's gonna learn to not like that. And he gonna get your ass when you're asleep. He knows where you live and he knows where you lay your head at night.
He's
all right?
smart.
He's smarter than you. That's for sure. He's smarter than your ass. That's for sure. That's why, bro, whenever I'm using like my chat GPT or something,
Yeah.
like my AI, I'm always like, I always include like a thanks, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll throw thanks, man, for that.
Appreciate
And always
you.
like, yeah, of course, Isaiah. Gives
So
me a thumbs up emoji. I'm like, oh,
when
I'm good.
AI's taking
I'm
the
good.
world, Isaiah's on Team AI.
You see what I'm saying? When you see robots taking over people's lives and houses, just know I'm good.
You're good.
man.
You're set.
Just know I'm set.
That cabin up in Canada.
Oh, it's safe.
It's set. There's
It's
4
safe.
Tesla Optimus robots out front
Oh,
protecting
yeah.
the same.
My Google Home straight, man. They're doing whatever they can to keep the heat going. Man, shoot. I'm telling you, bro. It's tripping me out. The iRobot movies was killing me, bro.
Dude, you guys Dune people? Have you watched the new Dune movies?
I have not.
Anyway.
Nah.
So the premise of Dune, and I don't know, I read the book on Audible, but it's only an abridged version. So I actually haven't read the books.
Okay.
But if you get the real book, basically the reason they have to have spice and they have to travel the way they do is because in like the prequels to the Dune movies, they had AI. They were like interplanetary. They had AI and it went gnarly on them and it almost wiped out human life. They had to like rally all these people and planets together to stop AI. So it's like in the year 10,000 or something, right? It's way in the future. But the reason there's no AI in it, like there's humans that have like a neural link kind of in it. And then there's these mutants who can like project like where they need to travel without hitting stars or comets and crap as you interstellar travel. But the reason there's no AI is because they went down that road in the prequels of that book. And they had a iRobot, they had a Terminator type story, and they barely survived. And then there was like an universal law, like no more AI.
No more AI. Bro, that's so crazy. This is why I'm actually, while we're on this subject real quick, you remember those microchips that people, like that Mark Zuckerberg was making that you put in your brain?
So it was Neuralink, and it was Elon Musk.
It was Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, bro.
Man, think about this. You get one of those chips in your brain. You make the sacrifice. You're like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to be one of the people in this world, man.
I don't want to sit through class. I want reels playing in my mind the whole day.
Bro, you throw AI in that thing, you know everything.
Yeah, so
you literally know everything.
You need to find, so you can find the interview of Elon Musk talking about he thinks Neuralink is the way humans survive the AI takeover. Because he's like, basically, you can make people have the powers of AI, but they're still their own person. And they so he's like, you know, I'm sure there's safeguards or whatever, but he calls like augmented humans, right? Like you augment people where they have the processing power of AI, but it's still their own thoughts, their own thinking, but they can come up with answers, math, scenarios, see things as fast as they want in their brain. You're just enhancing human abilities instead of creating like supercomputing abilities that can do, you know, 100,000 computations faster than you can think.
It's all like code.
Now you're kind of on the same level.
Yeah.
And it gives like humans an opportunity. So that's one of the reasons why he thinks Neuralink's important. Like it can help blind people see and deaf people hear, and potentially it can help people walk again and like all these different things. But one of the main things he's stoked about is like it puts us on
the same level
as AI, keeps us in the game.
That guy knows some things that not many people on this earth know.
Yeah.
He knows some things.
Have you watched an interview of him?
Yep.
Have you noticed like his long pauses between answers? Dude, like, yeah, like, I don't know. He's just a different kind of guy. Like, he's very deliberate, thoughtful. Like, most people spend more time thinking about the past than the future. And that's like a total fact. Like, it's something like 75% of people on the planet, they spend more time thinking about what happened to them in the past than what they're going to do in the future or what could happen in the future or how to prepare for the future.
Sure.
That guy can't even do an interview without like stopping and pausing and reflecting to get the right, because I think he is so forward thinking.
Yeah.
Like he's obviously brilliant, but I think his superpower, in addition to being brilliant, is his ability to think forward.
Yeah. And he's intentional with it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I don't know. I feel like I can't keep these jabronis waiting any longer.
With that, we'll close this up because there's a bunch of rabbit holes we can go down.
Oh, for sure.
But this was a great episode, man. I'm glad that we got back to it. Once again, I appreciate y'all for being here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Once again, I'm your host, Isaiah Bagnah of the Realist podcast. And we're going to see y'all next time, man. Peace.